Approved cat fosterers will soon be allowed to keep up to 6 cats in some types of public flats, and there is more than the usual limit of 2 for cat owners. Fosterers staying in private property can care for up to 10. A new 2-year pilot scheme by the Animal and Veterinary Service recognizes the role fosterers play in safeguarding animal health and encouraging rehoming. Chloe Teo reports.
These little ones are looking for their forever homes. Until then, they are in the care of groups like Looney, a network of volunteer fosterers who give rescued cats a safe place to recover and wait for adoption. They say the new guidance gives them clarity.
I think a lot of our fosterers were also in limbo because since we all were at our limits, whether it's 2 cats or 3 cats or even more than that, a lot of us were asking, okay, now what happens to the fosters? So now it's really good that AVS has actually created this framework specifically for fosters so that we can understand our limits in terms of how many cats and kittens we can take in.
Authorities say the limits take into consideration a recent survey. It shows more than 8 in 10 fosterers care for up to 6 cats at any one time, and some 7 in 10 fosterers live in public housing. Still, some groups say the limits will make it harder for them to respond in emergencies.
For example, you have a hoarding case. We have hoarder houses where we have over 40 cats inside. Then you would need to, you can't say, okay, temporarily I take 20 cats just to tie us over. We need to find so many people to foster all these cats before we can even begin to rescue. That will really slow down our rescue.
The immediate impact will be that fosterers may start having to close their doors, and this is a very difficult situation because rescue is quite dynamic. You can't really predict, the number of cats that need help in a particular situation, the urgency of certain situations. So if you force them to close their doors, then essentially you're leaving those cats in either the undesirable state or somebody else has to mop up the damage.
The pilot falls under the nation's cat management framework. It aims to promote responsible pet ownership through measures such as mandatory cat licensing and microchipping. At a community event, Minister of State for National Development Alvin Tan says some 66,000 pet cats have been licensed since the framework was introduced 2 years ago.
Currently, about 7 out of 10 pet cats in Singapore are licensed. But that also means that 3 out of 10 are unlicensed. So if you have a cat that belongs to that remaining 30%, please listen carefully. We've given a lot of time. We've provided a 2-year transition period for you to license your pet cats for free. That transition period ends next month.
Owners who have more than the permitted limit will be allowed to keep their cats, as long as they license them by 31st August.